Steph, you guys went 7-1 on this homestand. What are your biggest takeaways?
Took care of business. Defensively, we were really solid for all 8 games. We had different guys step up every night. We found pretty solid rotation for the most part. Even got some young guys in there. JK and Mood got some good minutes, and JK tonight was awesome. So still trying to find opportunities for everybody, still trying to find an identity of how we're going to win, and everybody being comfortable in their roles and all of that. But we're winning and learning, on the fly, with some really good momentum. So I was proud of the way, like, for 8 games, like, it's hard to stay locked in, with the routine kind of monotony of every other day you're doing the same thing. So it was really impressive,
You guys are
homestand.
Sorry to interrupt there. You guys have been propelled by some really big third quarters as well. Why have those been the most explosive quarters?
I don't want to say because I don't want it to change. I don't want to give it away. Endurance, like the physicality of how we play defensively and offensively, it is hard to maintain that pace and all that for the entire game. It has something to do with it, but teams are starting to realize how we're playing, and they come out really locked in and focused in the first half. You stick with the game plan, and for the most part, keep making them take tough shots, and we have good possessions and keep our turnovers reasonable, then good things happen.
You weren't feeling that well, like middle of the homestand, early in the homestand. I mean, your point totals were 19, 18, that range. You've gone 40, 25, 50 the last 3 games. Are you starting yourself to catch more of a rhythm?
For sure. It follows kind of the usual pattern of how I start seasons, and a lot of it too is just staying aggressive, locked in on how I'm trying to get off most nights, but working through our system and the offense, and not really worrying about the output. It's just about trying to find ways to win games and create momentum, and usually good things happen. That's how I usually focus on it. And yeah, feeling really good, strong physical, the recovery from game to game feels, solid, getting used to the rotation that we're settled in for right now, those type of things. Every game continues to move in the right direction.
Steve had you set a couple high screens for Kuminga in the 4th. One of them, he got downhill scored on. Do you find yourself thinking like, oh, this could be a tool to use the next few years?
For sure. I think getting him reps just out there, no matter really what the lineup is, but giving him opportunities to showcase, his athleticism, his skill set. He made a pass to Moody in the corner down the stretch of the game that shows like his capability of being a downhill threat, but also having options and getting, guys open looks. So hopefully keep, have opportunities to keep showcasing that and understand what that pace and rhythm and feel, is really like out there on the floor with, the normal rotation guys.
So I don't know how much attention you pay to numbers, team numbers, but your third quarter defensive rating is 82, which is pretty ridiculous. Are you guys tightening up defense, cleaning up things on the fly? Does something happen at halftime? Or, what do you think is the reason behind the third quarter terrorizing? You mentioned some of it earlier, but
yeah, it's just you make adjustments throughout the game, try to keep their normal pattern, the opposing team's normal patterns, kind of keep them off guard, keep them on their heels. But it's just focus and intention and effort that you have to sustain over the course of 48 minutes. We've done a pretty good job in that. I didn't know, the numbers, but I told Mike B during the game, and it's, sometimes you have those offensive lows and it feels like you can't make a shot or things are kind of slow. But then you realize like the other team hadn't scored in 4 possessions, and that's when you start to really understand you're maintaining that momentum, control of the game. So it's just effort, to be honest, like, and a willingness for everybody on the court to sustain that for 48 minutes. It's really hard to do, and the good defenses find a way to do it.
Steph, you've always been aware of the surroundings. What does it mean to drop 40 in front of Coach McKillop and some of your former teammates who were in attendance?
It's special. I know schedule guys worked out somewhat in terms of they got to come to the game. Obviously, we're going to Charlotte tomorrow, so I'll miss the Davidson USF game, but to have Coach in the building, the players are somewhere in the arena, but it always gets me going, reminding me of the journey to get here and all that went into making me the player and person I am and all he poured into me. So love that relationship I have with him. He's a gem, and you always just that smile when I saw him on the sidelines, like it was it's like I was back on the East Coast. So it's always good to have him in the building.
Steph, you just mentioned recovery game to game, and Steve has shared a little bit about the structure of practices this season being a little bit different, and even the David who says exactly when it's time for practice to stop. You guys have done enough, and clearly something's paying off, right? Your record and everybody seems to be thriving in this new format, I guess. What are your thoughts?
I mean, everything's evolving year to year, and we have, if you've really been paying attention to our organization over the last 7-8 years, we've had a lot of turnover in that department. And these last 3 years, we've really had the first kind of consistent presence from a sports performance perspective. And that definitely helps because, like you said, they know us as players, they know our coach's style, and there's a lot of trust within how they collaborate to put us in the best position to be successful out on the court. And then that comes with trust from the players to follow the plans and know that it will work. So that doesn't just happen overnight. And Rick and his team this is their 3rd year, and we've continued to invest in their team. So I love it. It's been very collaborative from a player perspective. They listen to us and understand how we feel and all that. So if you do the work, it works.
Have you offered some specific input on that?
Just more off days for golf.
Okay.
Usually good things happen.
Stretch at home. How can that transfer on the road the next 4 games?
It's different. Just you want to feel good about what you're doing, and even this game, Coach called it the getaway game because you want to leave, this building with a win and good vibes, getting on the plane, going across the country. So hopefully we can pack that momentum with us on the way, but it all comes down to just how we execute and again the effort and energy that you bring. Because it's easy to get up for when you have your home crowd rooting you on and you have that energy, but on the road, it requires another level of focus and intensity to win games. So we know how to do it. It's just a matter of showing up. So we got to carry that as much as possible.
Your college coach, he was in here before the game. It seems like he's pushing for a presidential campaign.
For him or for me?
32.
Nah. I'm good where I'm at right now.
Kevon Looney question. He's led the team in rebounding the past couple games, and he reminded us he's been with this team for 7 seasons. What do you think about Kevon's dependability?
It's just if you look at year to year, you know, what he's been through coming in while, you know, our championship window run and you know, that 5 years. It's kind of funny how you look back at some of the highlights and stuff and you see him out there and he was like 19, 20, 21 type of vibe. And now dealing with injuries and some setbacks along the way, the fact that he's in a position where he can play every night, he can give us, you know, that physicality and presence in the paint. Like you said, his rebounding is, you know, really helping us get extra possessions, giving us a huge boost. But he just knows like everything that we do, and he is a part of the DNA of that. And he's in that interesting position where, you know, we drafted Wise last year, and you know, last year was kind of, you know, spotty depending on how things were going, but he always stayed ready. And this year, obviously, until Wise gets back, he's doing his job, and he'll be able to adjust accordingly because we need him. You know, throughout the season. So he's a true professional when it comes to that, because that's a tough position to be in. Like you said, I haven't been here 7 years, but you got this guy that's second draft pick who is going to get his turn, but you got to stay ready.
Coach McKillop said the best thing he's learned from you, and he's learned a lot from you, is grace. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I mean, got a certain disposition of just appreciating everything that goes into my successes and who is a part of that, and try to have as much awareness of that, shine the light away from me as much as possible. But just very appreciative of everything that I've been given, and again, just who's impacted me along the way. So he's very humble in that sense, because he say he learned stuff from me, but you know, we all know I wouldn't be here without those 3 amazing years that I had at Davidson and him at the helm. Best decision basketball wise I think I've made. So it worked out.